If you've been a fan of this channel, you know how much I admire Michael Burry, always taking the flip side of the trade. I love to hear both sides of the story to kind of figure out what my thoughts and opinions are on it. And he came out with a dire warning this week, saying that we are setting up for one of the biggest crashes. The way that he put it is the mother of all crashes. So we'll take a look at what he's talking about. Is he absolutely crazy, mental, or is this something that we should actually be putting in our back pocket and actually taking his advice? But if this is your first time here, my name's Nick. Welcome to Ways to Wealth. Before we get into the video, huge favor, huge ask. If you learn something new or you get some value out of the video, hit that like button for me. I definitely appreciate that. And if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on. I would greatly appreciate that. Let's look at this BNN Bloomberg article with Michael Burry warning retail traders, you and I, about the mother of all crashes. So just to go back, if you haven't seen any of my previous Michael Burry videos or references to him, I'll link them above. But he is, if you're not familiar, the guy who is made famous from the movie The Big Short. He went in and shorted the mortgage-backed securities, which is basically the banks. They were consolidating all of the mortgages into one product, and they were mixing in good credit with bad credit. He picked that out and said, you know, some of these, the housing market is overrun, it's overheated. Eventually, some people won't be able to afford their mortgages, and in turn, he made a lot of money. They made a movie after him, and that's how the story goes so far. A lot of people say it was a once-in-a-lifetime pick for Michael Burry. There's some people that kind of live and breathe on every single word. I love his opinion. I love to get where he's coming from, and it kind of helps me make my decision, because you always have to hear both sides of the story. So all hype / speculation is doing is drawing in retail before the mother of all crashes. That was his tweet from last week, which has since been deleted. When crypto falls from trillions or meme stocks fall from tens of billions, hashtag Main Street, losses will approach the size of countries. History ain't changed. I guess drawing back to the tech boom, or also the 08-09, but probably more the tech boom side of things. So Burry, the head of Scion Asset Management, is closely followed by the meme stock crowd. He took a bullish stance on GameStop in 2019, which have helped lead the foundations for an epic retail investor frenzy. His views have since switched. If I put GameStop on your radar and you did well, I'm genuinely happy for you, he wrote in a tweet in January. However, what is going on now? There should be legal and regulatory repercussions. Unnatural, insane, and dangerous is what he touched on of what's going on right now with the short squeeze. So obviously, you know, he's been getting a little bit of heat back and forth with what's going on in this market, but I believe some of his tweets have created some lure from the SEC, the Exchange Commission. He was off Twitter for a bit, but to a lot of people's surprise and I'm sure happiness, he came back online. I believe it was last week or the week before. We also know, based on his previous video, that he has placed a short bet against Tesla, you know, the 800,000 shares against it. That was the Q1 report of his 13F filing. He has to report one time at the end of the quarter. He could have sold since, but what we know today is that he's positioned his portfolio for major inflation. The bond positions, we touched on that in a previous video, so if you're interested, go check that out. It's actually interesting to see how much of his portfolio is set up for this inflation period. But basically finishing it up here, obviously right now the conversation with a lot of people is what's going to happen next. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, next month, the month after that. But what we do know is that if we pick good companies, if we pick ETFs that take away the risk of owning one company, if we position ourselves to have a plan for the long term, not to panic in the short term, and even still take advantage of opportunities when you see companies you love at a discount. I know it's hard. A lot of people reference, you should be buying when you don't feel like you want to be buying. And, if you position yourself for your long-term horizon, the short-term noise will fizzle out. I know it's painful. I know it's hard, but there are some frothy things, which I do agree with Burry, and they've still kind of come off in the past couple months, that those are probably not the best investments. Let's get back to basics. I know we were taken by storm by all these short squeezes, the AMCs, the GameStops, the BlackBerry. If that's your thing, by all means. My preference, long-term investing, ETFs that give me a broad coverage of the market. And that's basically it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you agree with Burry. Is it going to be catastrophe? Is it going to be capitulation on the market? Or do you think, let's hold good companies. If there's some weakness in the short term, I'll be adding more. That's definitely my suggestion. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're still with me, hit that like button. I definitely appreciate that. Hope you have a great week on the markets. Happy trading.